in this case your father as well, is not there and he's stripped away from your corner abruptly like that. Bad mistake by the father. You know, he's going to have to talk to the son about that when all is said and done. But Josue's got a lot of experience. He should be able to compartmentalize that and you know, fight well tonight.
And if you're asking, well, what exactly does that mean when you violate the rules of the bubble? Well, remember, Top Rank has established policies and procedures so that they can secure the safety and well-being of every participant who's out there for these fights, whether it's ESPN personnel, their own staff, the fighters, the cornermen. So everybody is COVID-19 tested. You enter into a secure hotel floor where only the participants for Top Rank Boxing are. You eat, you train, you even have a pub there where you socialize. And last night, after we had a production meeting with his father, the trainer, and you know the role that he plays in his life, and we sat and talked to him for about a half an hour, he went down to the casino floor. So he left that protective bubble that everybody is in, and in doing so, he's out.
Vargas landed a nasty uppercut on the chin of Briceno as he was coming in. You know, this is another target practice type of fight. You know, Vargas, he's gonna be boxing all night and catching Briceno as he walks forward and makes mistakes. And Briceno, you see where he wants to be. He wants to be in the inside, attacking the body on the shorter man.
He's pulled off some upsets in his career, Briceno. He's only 6-4 in his last 10 fights, but he did have a knockout of a previously undefeated prospect when he dismissed Victor Zuniga, who was 13-0 when they fought back in 2017 back home in Guadalajara. This is his third fight in the U.S. 19 times he has fought back home in Mexico.
You're not stepping with the left. We out of range. We out of range. We gotta be careful. We don't.
Briceno doesn't have a lot of respect for Vargas. He told us in the fighter meeting that, you know, he hasn't fought anybody. He throws 1 or 2 shots when you attack him. And I'm going to warm up over the first couple rounds, and then I'm going for the knockout. I don't want a decision. And Josue Vargas is a good boxer, Tim, like you mentioned, but for whatever reason, he's got this chip on his shoulder to want to prove to the world on ESPN that he can fight on the inside. So look for him to go inside as this fight progresses.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's where he goes right there. He's able to place that uppercut.
Out of there. There you go. Now with the stick. You make stick, left to beautiful. Yeah, I don't want one shot.
Beautiful uppercut.
Beautiful left hook to center. You gotta put the hook right behind it.
More power punches.
Beautiful. There you go. There you go. That's what I wanted.
Boy, Briceno is making Vargas. He's going to make him work tonight. He's putting a massive amount of pressure on Vargas.
Good tap. Give me the hook. I want the left hook to center. Beautiful. You came out to the center. So give me 2 body. We roll under that. Don't come back to the center. So you got count with the hook.
See, having your coach in the corner is such a sensitive thing. You can have your father who has one cadence and one tone throughout the course of a fight, and then you have another coach like tonight who may have a little bit more excitement in his voice, and that can excite you and cause you to slightly get off your game. So it's going to be interesting to see how Josue Vargas deals with this tonight, even though he's having success now, but as the fight progresses, how he deals with the game plan and how he executes it.
You know, that's a very interesting point you make, Dre, because the 3 of us listened in closely after that first round to how the communication would go with Raul Rivas and Vargas. I thought Raul's message was great. I thought the coaching was great, the instruction was great. But about halfway through the round, Timmy, Vargas said, he paused and said, okay, so what do you want me to do?
Yeah, that's just, he got instructions that he ain't never heard before. That's why.
And Bernardo's in that corner right now. Bernardo, let's visit in with that red corner.
Remember, the body breaks down.
Raul, how well do you know Josue?
I know this from the amateurs, but it's my first time, you know, due to what happened working with the individual. But I know from the amateurs, I know the father for a while, you know, we followed each other. So we did camp together in Orlando, you know, so I was able to, you know, get more comfortable with him, you know, and friendship level.
You were just out here with Bauza. You didn't have much time to work with him. What's the biggest challenge right now for you guys?
Well, for Barca, you know what, believe it or not, it's just the fact of listening. He's young. He has a lot of great tools, but they got to be chemistry. When chemistry falls in place, and then everything, it's like a game plan. Everything, it gets executed. So at this particular time, it's my first fight. He hasn't fought in a year. We fought a really tough opposition, very aggressive, strong fight. So well matched. He's gonna learn from this a lot. He's 22 years old, so we just gonna keep working. Next fight, he'd be better, and the following, just like anybody else.
Eladio couldn't be here. What were his last words to you before you brought his son out tonight?
He said he trusts me. You build world champions. You got some farmer, Jason Sosa, and the list of fighters that I had that he knows. He says, I couldn't be more comfortable. I say thank you. So,
appreciate that. Joe.
Alario.
Yeah, it is working, but I just like the way Vargas right here got off the line. You see, he steps back, boom, times Briceno as he comes in and tries to shoot a right hand. This is textbook right here. A lot of times you don't see this from southpaws. Pinpoint accuracy, 2 shots, combination. Beautiful work by Vargas right there.
And then just landed a combination.
Every now and then you see the one shot.
Round 3 that finished with a right hand to the body.
Tess, we had a southpaw in the last fight, and you didn't see a 2-piece with the uppercut like that. He had a guy coming straight forward at him, just as Briceno's doing, and we didn't see that combination from him.
That was Fauza against Friars, who was coming straight in.
See, right now, Raul Rivas, the cornerman and trainer, at least tonight, for Josue Vargas, is asking for Vargas to do what I feel he should do, which is box and use his God-given ability. But that's not what Vargas and his father were talking about yesterday in the fighter meeting. They were talking about going inside, shining on ESPN, and proving that they can not only box, but fight inside. So it's going to be very interesting as this fight goes on, because his opponent needs him inside. That's the only time he has success. And Vargas isn't a big puncher at that.
No, Vargas is not a big puncher, but man, Briceno's putting a lot of pressure on him, and Vargas has to choose his spots wisely. When he's going to attack and sit there and exchange with him, and then get back on the outside and use his God-given ability.
Listen, it's too early for Vargas to be fighting this kind of fight with this guy. It's too early. You don't go inside until you've broken your opponent down, and those punches and the heat on those punches have kind of, lessened, and they're not as hard. It's too early for Vargas to be inside.
And one thing that I see what Vargas is doing wrong is he's paying too much attention to the head. He needs to pay attention to the body. When you're having a straightforward fighter, a Mexican fighter at that, you got to beat him down to the body to slow him down.
Ahí con él, llévalo atrás. Ahí. There you go. Stay in the body. Good D. Stay in the body. You head hunting too much.
All I can tell you is that Vargas better not get tired. Briceno look like he still is loading up and has a lot of energy.
And you heard Raul said you're head hunting too much. He's having success doing it, though. Well, we got our main event.
You notice the fight is no contest when Josue's fighting like this. Briceno is lost, doesn't have great feet, tough guy, but he can't deal with Vargas on the outside like that. But Vargas at some point in time makes up his mind that he wants to stay inside, and then you see Briceno come alive.
Yeah, with a short right hand.
Eliminate that shot.
I slightly disagree, Dre, with you, only brother, because you can't move around and dance around like that for 10 straight rounds. You got to be in tremendous shape. I don't know how much shape Vargas is in, and sometimes you got to stand in there and you got to get respect from the pressure fighter. You got to let him know that, hey, I'm here.
Give me two.
Tim, listen to me. It's too early for that right now. You got to establish the boxing first, and then you find your way in there. Vargas is just arbitrarily just fighting inside because he just wants to fight inside. It's not the game plan with a guy like Briceno. Not this early.
Good action on the
He's
inside
breaking
here.
Briceno down right now to the body. That's what he's doing right now. He's breaking him down to the body.
Behind that. You're smart. There you go. There you go. Very smart. Inteligente, papito. Nothing wrong with the wall when you're inside. Give it a little grab. 2 seconds. Every second counts. There you go. 2 in the body.
Boy, he back on the outside, taming Briceno, catching him as he's coming in with clean counters. And then he's stepping inside and then bang him down to the body and slow him down a little bit, like that.
Doubled up
Beautiful,
that right
beautiful
hand.
boxing by Vargas.
Uppercut and then the hook from that southpaw position.
That's a rookie mistake. Not a rookie. Back with the stick. That's a lazy jab. Make it count.
And Vargas might win like this, but he's making it harder than he needs to. And he's taking a fight that could be 80-20 in his favor, 70-30 in his favor, and he's making it 60-40 in his favor. You want all the advantages you can have in boxing. Don't make it easy for an opponent.
Dre, you know what's really interesting? We've made so much about the fact that his father is unexpectedly not in his corner because of violating the rules of being in the bubble. But if you listen to this running commentary, because we have such clarity to be able to hear the trainers, Raul Rivas is really pointed in what he's telling them. That's a lazy jab. That's rookie stuff. You know, this is the first time they've worked together. But brutally honest with his in-round coaching.
Raul Rivas, he's a great coach. He's worked with Tevin Farmer, another great southpaw from Philly, and other great fighters, so he knows what he's talking about.
Over Briceno. Dre, show us what you like.
Well, Vargas has been boxing for the majority of the fight. Good jab right there. He missed it, but nice counter right. And Briceno landed his shot, but this is Vargas at his best. Woo! 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 Boom! Landed a shot right there. Another shot right there as he walks out the door. Beautiful sequence right there from Josue Vargas.
All set up because of his feet. Beautiful work.
Now right there, you walk him in, drop your shoulder, walk him in and grab him, and walk him to the center.
Bernardo, what are they saying in the corner of Salvador Briceno?
Roberto Quesada told me, look, he's staying too far back. His left leg is too far back, and he's taking a mistaken plan tonight. You can't fight this guy in the middle of the ring. This southpaw, you got to take him to the ropes and rough him up a little bit.
Okay, break. Very clean, very clean.
That's right. You got to square the southpaw up. Square the southpaw up. You got a better chance in hitting him. You take all the advantages away from him, all those angles away from him. This is where Briceno needs to be, right here. Look at all the success he's having.
Smothers and tries to go to the belt line. Good upper head movement from Vargas and then turns out of it.
Yeah, but see, all Vargas had to do right there, Tess, was just step inside and tie up Briceno. Stop his work like he's doing there.
Very clean.
Ooh, nice step around right there. Nice, beautiful work right there. You can tell.
Yeah, beautiful work. Now Josue Vargas is back to that 80-20 business. 80% in his favor, 20% in Briceno's favor. Don't make it easy for an opponent.
Well, he just needs to stay off those ropes. This is where you step in and you do the tie-up right now. Tie up the hands of Briceno. Walk him right to the center of the ring. Yep.
There you go. Good shot. That was pretty. Good shot. Turn that. Turn it, my son. There you go. I love that. Stay running.
Consistent work with that right hand.
There you go. Stay there.
The uppercuts, the body shots, getting underneath that left elbow of Briceno.
We can beat him in the outside. We can beat him in the inside. Let's give him different game plan. Beautiful. Thank you. There you go.
Finding a nice rhythm here towards the end of round 5.
There you go. Now take it back with the jab. Right with the stick. There you go.
Target practice, Tess. Target practice.
Beautiful.
Good solid left hand as well.
10 seconds. Thank you.
By far his best work.
That's beautiful. You don't leave with the jab like that again.
Back in New York, and then of course was canceled. Pandemic shut everything down. But in that last round, there was some real good work, Timmy, from Vargas in the final 30 seconds.
All set up by his feet. Look at his eyes as well. Eye on the prize, on the body, steps back, counters, and then he steps around. Beautiful. And he loses Briceno. Briceno had no idea where he went to. Beautiful work by Vargas. Beautiful boxing.
Accidental headbutt.
Clash of heads, and you see that left eye of Vargas as he was pawing at it. See any blood emerges there.
Hold him up. Those headshots ain't no good. Hold him up.
Look like a little cut on the left thigh of Vargas.
You can see some blood there.
It's a perfect opportunity. Yes, that's a perfect opportunity for Briceno to land that right hand.
Really take a lot out of you, especially when it's a hard one. Get yourself back together. Just keep moving with the jab. Next round is
that blood woke Briceno up.
There you go. Just keep using your legs. There you go. Very smart. Beautiful, my son. There you go. Out of there. Get out of there. Hold them. Turn them. Beautiful.
So you were talking about earlier, Tim, if you do get your back against the ropes, just step forward and tie him up. And now
tie him up.
Well, here's the clash of heads that has us now with a pause in the action.
Both guys right there look like they're throwing a power shot. You have Briceno throwing a body shot, and you have Vargas throwing the uppercut. Both heads come together right there. That caused that cut. And it's in a bad spot, too, Tess.
Yeah, it's
right
on the eyelid.
underneath the eyelid.
Yeah, it's below
right
the brow, on the actual eyelid.
Beautiful, my son. You're in the moment. There you go. Keep using those legs. See what he wants.
Well, with that being a bad cut, it is worth looking at Andre's scorecard, and it is 4-1 as it stands right now in favor of the 16-win Josue Vargas. So if we do have to go to the scorecards, that's where Dre has it through 5.
Stay low. Good. Poke him in the bottom, son. When you check him, keep that fucking right up.
One of the biggest struggles for young fighters on the way up is mentally not getting bored with what's working. Sometimes something will be working and it'll seem like it's too easy, so they just go away from it. Stick to what's working. Do what's making the fight easy. And right now, for Vargas, boxing with the occasional fighting is what's making this fight easy for him.
22-year-old from the Bronx.
There you go. Beautiful. Good body. There you go.
16-1 record. Corner of Josue Vargas. It was a clash of heads in the 6th round. Second time in Vargas's career that he's been cut. And it was first time was also over the left eye, but that was an 8-rounder, and there was only 5 seconds left in the fight when it happened. Vargas seemingly in control here on the scorecards against Briceno. And he's been dominating the CompuBox numbers. 123 connects out of 399 thrown. Briceno only has 52 landed punches. Bernardo, what is Mike Basil saying about that cut on Vargas's left eye?
Mike Basil told me, look, it's in a bad spot, but as long as he doesn't get hit, and he's not getting hit much, and he wasn't bleeding when he came to the corner, then he'll be fine and we'll be able to manage it.
I was going to say, Joe, that I'm surprised the referee didn't cause Josue Vargas to go back to his corner and knock some of that grease off, but Briceno knocked the grease off for him.
Of course, it was with the right hand, Dre. You know, Vargas got to be careful. He's dropping his hands as he's pulling away, and sometimes he's coming out a little bit too fat. And Briceno is just a little bit off the mark with that right hand. You'll get caught on the way out.
Another right hand moments ago.
Briceno's getting a little bit closer.
Yes, he is. We talked about Vargas going inside. It's the 7th round now. So now you can stay inside a little bit, just like right there, steal some shots, protect the eye, and then get back on the outside. But as the fight wears on, now you want to get inside a little bit more and start touching that body and touching short shots, uppercuts inside with hooks and uppercuts.
And what I like that tie-up right there from Vargas, resting right now. Stop the momentum of Briceno.
Yes.
But, you know, and I also like the fact that he's doing 2 pieces. Boom, boom, move. Boom, boom, move. He's not getting greedy. He's not allowing Briceno to load up with anything.
There you go. Control it with the jab, okay? Control everything with the jab. All that movement. There you go.
Stop.
Good. Good. Poke to the bottom. There you go.
Sent off balance that time with that left hand.
Hook to the bottom. There you go. Let's be creative. Hit that jab. Give me a counter hook with a straight left off that.
Coming to the end of round 7 here of our co-feature. And then it will be 20.
Stay moving. Wow. Using the slip. There you go. Good.
You know, Briceno's been putting the same approach the whole fight. He hasn't changed up anything, so he's so predictable. So if I was in Briceno's corner, I would say, hey, don't go forward. Step back a little bit. Let's see if we can draw this young man in and see if we can make him pay another way.
There you go. Now, off that jab to the stomach, I want the left and the hook style. Work on that.
Yeah, you can hear Rivas talk about what the work he wants off the jab to the body was. That jab to the body was so successful. He says, oh, let's go back to it. Let's put something with it.
Good. That's in tight, my son. That's in tight. You can work with him in
Tell you what, if you're Team Vargas, you better be very, very proud. And if you lucked out by getting a guy like Raul Rivas, who is not only a great coach, but he's a defensive-minded coach. He knows how to work with southpaws. Like I said, he's worked with Tevin Farmer, and he's the right guy to replace the father tonight in Josue Vargas' corner. Because if you had a guy who was take 2 to give 1, this fight may be a different fight.
That's right.
Of your feint. Give me a feint. Give me a hook in the left off that. Pop, pop. Go.
Hey, don't be surprised if you see the coach in the corner with Vargas after this fight.
Give me 2.
Vargas, I'm sure, is loving the instructions he's getting, and I'm sure he's learning something right now on the job.
Beautiful.
Well, you know, it's interesting because the three of us clearly have an ear for everything that's happening with Raul Rivas with the news that broke earlier that Hilario Vargas, the father of Josue, had violated the rules to be there at the MGM Grand with all the COVID-19 procedures and protocols. And now you get Rivas in there. But I think he's done a fine job, not just with the results we're seeing with Vargas, but the communication between the two of them. And the kid was very emotional. I mean, it was only an hour before this fight that he struggled to get through an interview and discussing what happened with his father and his father not being there.
There you go. Keep moving. Out of there.
Dre, you had the feeling he would react well. You had the feeling that he would be composed once the fight started, and he has been.
Well, you know, you don't fully know, but he had to. You know, fighters are trained to overcome adversity. They're groomed for it. And tonight he's facing some adversity, not just his opponent, but what happened with his father, and he's responding well.
That's the head. When you're leading with the left, you're leading with the head first. That's how you got to stop first time. Guarantee it's going to land if you give it to me. Good body.
If Josue wants to test himself and test his opponent inside, now's a good time to go in there and see what Briceno has left.
There you go. Come back with the left and the hook style right there. You had it. He's frustrated.
Too easy. Too easy.
Stay short.
But like you say, Tim, when it's looking that easy, why mess with the game plan? Just keep doing what you're doing.
Keep doing what you're doing. It's looking easy, but you better not fall asleep in there. Don't get too comfortable. Don't get too cute. You have a success, and then all of a sudden, boom, you leave yourself open, and guess what? Briceno has a knockdown, creates a knockdown somehow.
By the way, if you look at the record
times,
of Vargas and you say to yourself, now hold on a second, he's a good-looking prospect who turned pro at 17, well-managed, well-schooled. He's got 16 wins. What's with the one loss? And we said, you know, it was an odd disqualification. Well, back in 2016, he was fighting in Vegas against Samuel Santana, who was 7-11-3 record. He knocks him down in the second round. He knocks him down again in the third round. Vargas is in complete control. But at one moment in the third round, he spins his opponent around and floors him with a punch, and the ref said that was an intentional foul, and there's the DQ loss on his ledger. So that's why you have the 16-1.
You had a precision.
And you can see a cut now around the left brow of Briceno.
You leave with the feet in the center, you're a sucker for that uppercut or that right hook. Keep that feet outside.
He's teaching them as the fight's going on. Unbelievable.
I think it's been a great night from Raul Rivas. Just listen to him,
Rivas
folks.
is teaching.
He's slowing down. We can't slow down. We can pick up a pace now.
Listen into
Now
Rivas
we
here.
good. Let's go. Now we can be more creative. What are you waiting for? Let's go. There you go. He's there for you now. We can pick and choose what you want to do. Keep walking.
Sí.
Keep walking all in your space.
Yo te pongo la silla.
Be first. Good body. No, don't do that.
I know. Cuidado.
Don't do that shit again. Your feet gotta be in the outside. Your feet is in the center. It's no fucking good. Thank you.
First time working together on short notice. End of 9. Of course, more action coming your way Thursday.